recently saw It Ends With Us, and for those of you who don't know, or maybe you do, but if you do know, it is heavily centered around DV and the manipulation behind DV and how it looks to the girl when it's to the person, that it's happening to. And it's a very, very heavy topic. I'm not going to say like exactly what it is here. We'll just call it DV. We'll call it what it is. Because I know it's very triggering for some people, and I know that a lot of us have gone through similar experiences, and I don't want to, trigger you or hurt you or any way. But I did want to talk about this whole situation. So I've been on It Ends With Us talk, so it's been my whole For You page is It Ends With Us content, and I came across a video of a Christian girl who made the claims that there are some situations in which you should stay, that there are some situations that God would call you to stay, like kids and repairing a marriage, and it depends on how bad the abuse is. Like all this, I thoroughly don't agree with that. I very much disagree with that. And I'm not going to name the creator, I'm not going to tag her, I'm not going to do anything of the sort, but I did want to kind of talk about it because I think that take was very harmful for Christian women, and I kind of wanted to bring some light to the situation and also offer you a helping hand and some hope, because I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're in the position that they need to stay to please God, or to stay for children, because God wouldn't call you to be in something like this, and God would not call you to stay when you're being abused. That's not who God is. He's a loving father. Why would he do that, right? Why would he want you to be in a relationship like that? But I'm going to give you some biblical explanations as to why God calls us not to stay. So the first reason is 2 Corinthians 6:14. Hang on, let me verify. Yes, 2 Corinthians 6:14. So 2 Corinthians 6:14 is the unequally yoked relationship verse. And this is friendships, boyfriend, girlfriend, marriages, however it is, this is what it is. And it is an unequally yoked relationship. God does not call us to be in an unequally yoked relationship. He actually tells us to flee from it, right? Unequally yoked would mean that you have one party who is living their life for God and doing His will, and displaying the fruit, has the fruit. Sorry, I'm like blanking on words. Just people who are living for Christ. And then we have the other party who is moving further away from God, more towards the world, picking up worldly habits and desires and things of that nature. Typically in a relationship, it's like the girl that's going to, and this is so stereotypical, do not take this as like textbook, but it's a girl that's like in her Bible all the time and studying and loving God, and this kind, beautiful, sweet person who just loves God and wants to tell you about Him. And maybe her husband or boyfriend, whoever it is, maybe he is, picking up those worldly desires, picking up the alcohol a little bit more, and doing the substance abuse and things of that nature, and then vice versa as well. It could be the boy who is, loving God and showing how much he loves God to other people, and showing how much he abides in His word. And then maybe the girl, she's going out partying, picking up that bottle a little bit more, and then it turns into this toxic manipulation, abuse, whatever it may be. It always ends up being a little toxic because it's an unequally yoked relationship. You're in two different places in your lives. One is living for God and one is living without God. Now, my next point is actually a violence situation in the Bible, and it is with King Saul and David. Basically, Saul was abusing David, being violent and mean to him. David gave him a chance. He saw he wouldn't change, so God called him to step out of that relationship. God decided, or said to David, told David, hey, he's not going to change. this is not healthy for you, this is harmful for you, you need to step out of this relationship. And God does call us to step out of violent situations. He does not call us to stay in them for the sake of anybody, because it's not helpful for you to stay in something that is constantly tearing you down mentally, physically, emotionally. That is not what God wants from us, because He loves us. He doesn't want us to be in a situation where we're in an unequally yoked relationship and our friend or our girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it is abusing us. And that's what it is it's DV. That's in the Bible. And so those are two great examples of how God calls us not to stay and not to put ourselves in those situations. So kind of knowing both of those points, I think it's kind of obvious that God does not call us to stay in a relationship that's harming us. And I know that God can use those situations that you're currently in for His good and His glory, and He will get you through that, and He will get you out of it, but He does not call you to be in it. There's a fine line and a difference here between going through a hardship to get to this next level of what God has prepared you for, and then you just being in a bad situation, right? Like, it's not always God testing you and trying you. Sometimes there are situations in which He does try you and test you and all that stuff, but it's not always God putting you through this to build your character to that. And I think it's so important to say that if you are in a violent situation, if you are in a situation that you need help out of, you need to tell somebody. You need to let somebody know. And I know it's scary, and there's so many women that lose their lives because they need help and they need out. And it's so harmful for women to see videos like I saw telling them that they shouldn't leave because God wouldn't like that. That's not exactly what she said, but it's kind of what I took out of it. There's never a situation in which you should be staying in something like that, and it's so hard to leave, and I know that, and there's so many women struggling, and there's so many women that probably saw that video that thinks now they can't leave, but I am telling you that you can and you should. There's never a situation in which you should be mentally abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, manipulated. There's no situation in which that should ever happen to you, because God does not want that for you, because He loves you and He's a good Father. He might use those situations to better you after you've gotten in them, but He does not wish those for you. He does not want to hurt you, and He does not want you to stay in something that is not good for you, that is harmful for you, that could eventually end up really, really bad. So I'm going to place the DV hotline number right here, and I'm going to keep it here the whole time, and I'm also going to put it in the caption, and you can contact that number at any point in time if you need help. And please, if you need help and you don't want to contact that number, you're scared, the person has your phone, things like that, you're welcome to DM me and I will contact that number for you. However I need to do, whatever I need to do to help you, you're welcome to contact me. I can help you find resources. Of course, we have the DV hotline number, and I can help you find mental health resources. I can help you find resources where they have housing for women in these situations. You can leave. God would not be mad at you for leaving, and He would not think less of you for doing it, because it is not in His plan for Him to physically bring harm to you. God will never hurt you. He will take those situations that you're currently in and bring you out of them. And I know that that's like a fine line of like, well, God puts you through things to get to other places, and He absolutely does. But you are allowed to leave. If you need help, please contact me. Please DM me. Call this number right here. Whatever you need, I am here for you, and I love you, and I'm praying for you. You are so important, and you are so special, and you are so needed in this world, and I feel like a lot of you probably don't hear that enough. So I am praying for you, and I love you guys.